It's a safe space to talk about where things are going or high-level discussions about design, and then also how to collaborate and work better.
This is Velocitize Talks, and I'm Andy North. I'm joined today by Daniel García, Partner and Managing Director at Kluge Interactive. Daniel, thank you for being here.
Thank you for the invitation, Andy.
So tell us a little bit about Kluge Interactive and some of the exciting things you're working on.
Yeah, well, Kluge is a design agency. We've been around, it's going to be 11 years now, and we focus on digital experiences for fast-growing companies, mostly in the technology segment. A lot of SaaS companies and startups here in LA. We work a lot with marketing companies, like those are primary buyers and partners. But we have done like great product work. We have experience, with some of our own products, and we're doing events here. So we have a community of designers that we foster here in Los Angeles.
You have an interesting background yourself. You have degrees in engineering, accounting, and a master's degree in
mobile and web computing.
Mobile and web computing. So you wear many hats, obviously, in your daily role. How have that background helped you in your professional career?
Yeah, I started as you saw, I started business and accounting, and then I moved, but I always loved computers, and I knew I wanted to do like engineering. So I went and had my engineering degree, and then found myself working as a developer, software developer, early days. Got a master, seeing the move towards mobile computing, got a master's in that, and now working in an agency, I had the opportunity to lead development teams, but also to interact with designers, storytellers, or marketeers, business owners. Now my role as a managing director, I'm more in the leading role, but it's always good to have that insight from the perspective of the technology and the team that's producing the end product.
Talk a little bit about some of the design thinking that's going into the user experience right now, and how do you see the user experience evolving, and is it starting to become the new marketing?
I think it's interesting because for us, so the way we see it at Kluge, design thinking is some of the tools or techniques we use to solve problems for our clients, right? In this case, design thinking, we think about is it just finding the intersection of viability, desirability, and feasibility. So when you look at what's desirable from a user perspective, you need to talk to them, right? A lot of companies start with the other two, which is what's viable and what's feasible. So like, can the tech team deliver on it, and do we want it as a business? Can we make money out of it? But if you leave your user out of it or behind, at one point it's going to catch up to you, right? And more you start seeing users demand more from their brands and clients, and their apps, their services. People are more used to the Airbnb experience, or that Uber experience.
Kluge talks about experiential or experience design. Talk a little bit about how that is benefiting some of your clients.
It requires a lot of effort and change from within the company. So we always think that it's good to find like that side project, that small thing that can bring value, but that makes you comfortable enough to try new things, right? So, one client we had, they wanted to improve their onboarding from one of the platforms, and just by a few numbers, and they came to us, and we said like, cool, you have 52 countries, let's try it on 3, and let's see how it works. So we went and talked to people and tweaked some of the things they had on onboarding. They had like a super long form. People were not following that, and so we made it interactive. We made animations, we made people just follow along with the experience.
And in that vein, you created something called Evenings at the Loft. And talk a little bit about that and how that goes down that same experience design route a little bit.
So our office was always located near the beach. Our founder likes to surf, and we said like, it's always a requirement for us to be close to the water. So we have a loft, and then at the beginning, 11 years ago, the design community in LA wasn't that mature, it wasn't that big. It was disjointed. This city at times can feel disjointed too because, the size of it. So we're like, what about starting a place where we can just get together and talk about experiences, from a designer's point of view. We started doing it in our office, and like 20 people. The idea is to have a whole experience around the event, not only have like pizza and beer. We started actually our first event. I'm from Venezuela, so we had like Venezuelan food. One of our partners' wife cooked in the middle of the loft. We had Venezuelan drinks. My wife helped serving drinks. So it was like pretty intimate, but at the end it was about design discussions. So now that grew to, we got to 100 people at the office. And now we start expanding and doing it in other places. We did one at Hulu, one at Google here in LA. We have like 250 people. So people enjoyed it, and it's just trying to, it's a safe space to talk about where things are going or high-level discussions about design, and then also how to collaborate and work better in design.
Has design, maybe perhaps in some of these discussions, has personalization come up as far as design and how it affects UX, which ultimately leads to personalization? That seems to be where the trend is going.
Personalization is AI is playing a role there, and it's helping automation. I know you guys, some of your tools is starting to help with that in customization, and for sure in the future, trying to deliver the best experience for each one of your clients. It's going to be key to winning in this market, right? Like technology is just getting fiercer and fiercer, and like people fighting for real estate in your phone.
Do you see technology for technology's sake sort of taking over the design experience? Or are you seeing designers say it still matters, the UX, the CX still matters?
I hope it doesn't take over. I think we still need space for humans to sit down and think, is this the right thing to do for us as a company and for our customers? And I believe there's a lot of people doing great stuff. In fact, I think we're having a talk in a few months where we have an event about ethics and AI. So I think design thinking, HCD, user experience, customer experience is all about trying to not forget about the user. And a lot of things that have passed, in the past about exploiting user data, privacy concerns, that's starting to show that we need to care about the people that we're serving.
You raise a good point with privacy, and obviously GDPR in Europe kind of led that wave, and it's coming across to the Americas. Is there a way that's affecting some of the clients that you work with in the work that you do? Some people are getting afraid of how much technology is gathering from you and how much companies know about you. And I do believe that we have to have a common place where we can talk and kind of like acknowledge those fears and address them in a way that is human and it's not only about, profit or, technology or moving forward, breaking things. Do you feel that there's an equation between privacy and personalization where you may be willing to provide a little bit more information about yourself so that you receive a customized experience when you're online? I think there is, and I think I don't see a problem with it as long as you make it clear to your users, right? Like I always believe, let them make the decision, and also show the value and why are you asking for that kind of information. And then if they wanna share it, that's great. But also if they don't want to do it and they're fine with having a general experience not as personalized as others' experience, like why not, right? Where do you see digital media going in the next 3 to 5 years? Just look into your crystal ball and then what's some of the things your clients are excited about or your designers are excited about? AR and VR, XR as a whole is going to be the next step. We are already doing work with that, and as devices gets faster, cheaper, more affordable, and you're able to experience that without having to buy any extra or even download an app, it's powerful, right? It's powerful to get people engaged with your brands in ways that
didn't know before.
You mentioned engaging with a brand via an app. Do you think websites are going the way of the dodo bird? Are they dying, or apps the new thing, or is it just more of a 50-50, they coexist?
When mobile apps came out or they went, crazy viral, everyone needed a mobile app, right? Like every restaurant, mom and shop, I need an app. And the same happened with websites. Now you're starting to see kind of a comeback with like progressive apps, web apps. So going back to the web, and then you're starting to see people now, oh, maybe I have too many apps on my phone, right? Like, why do I need another app, and why should I download your app? So maybe having a website or having the ability to, create an experience for a user without having to have that friction of download my thing, install my thing, is still going to be powerful. And I think the web has the upper hand there.
One of the questions we ask all our guests is there a book, a blog, or a podcast that you'd like to share with our viewers?
Yeah, I think The Shadow of the, is from a Spanish author, and it's called La Sombra de la Nube, The Shadow of the Cloud, and it's a good mystery book. I think I like sometimes to just get out a little bit of the day-to-day, and also helps the brain, think about other ways and as part of our creative process. So it's a really good mystery book.
My guest today has been Daniel Garcia, partner and managing director at Kluge Interactive. Daniel, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Pleasure.